Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I did a video a couple days ago that seemed to have gotten actually a very positive reception. A number of coaches actually came in and really loved the video, but it didn't get as much publicity because of some of the other videos I did that were discussing more problems, maybe a little bit of trolling and some fun in there also. Those tend to get more views, but I really feel like in terms of training, one of the better videos I've done in a while, and to me, I think it's the best video I've done on training in a month, was the one I did the other day about how to deadlift heavy every day without overtraining. And that's something I'm going to talk about a bit more later with you guys about things like supercompensation and actually training and not recovering for periods of time and building cumulative stress. But I just want to talk briefly about what some coaches and experts, their views on what we call high frequency minimalist training. And people forget minimalist training doesn't mean you spend less time in the gym. Bulgarians used minimalist training and they trained for 48 hours per week, three times per day, 6 days a week, hitting maxes every single session. That's considered minimalist training because it's low exercise selection, high specificity. Now, CJ Allen linked my video, and this is what he wrote about it. And he put some good points about high frequency training. How much time do you spend at 90% or above? Probably a set or two a week, if that, on most programs. That's where so-called minimalist training shines. Every session will take you to the circa max zone. Do 20 plus reps at 90 to 100% each week, and then tell me how it's the easy way out when you do another set of the latest magic accessory with a light band. Fact is, high frequency training allows you to pick harder and more movements that translate directly to performance while staying safer if programmed correctly. Maybe you wouldn't need 1,000 accessory moves if you did more than the minimum set of heavy work. Turning tables and changing semantics. We about to get insane up in her. And that's what CJ said, and he is himself an elite athlete who is a strength and conditioning coach. He's working on his doctoral work right now in exercise physiology and biomechanics, and he coaches athletes in a wide variety of sports, including some competitive bodybuilders, even for contest prep. Now, that's his take on it. Now, you guys know Jamie Lewis uses this same philosophy in his training. He is a raw world record holder, and there are some guys who are even in the natural area who discuss this a lot. Guys like Matt Perryman wrote a book called Squat Every Day, discussing these sort of concepts. This is just because people in the West train differently and they use a power building approach to powerlifting doesn't mean that isn't how a lot of top athletes around the world train. A lot of your top European and Russian, both powerlifters and Olympic lifters, use these styles of minimalist training with very high frequency. And when I say minimalist, that means that most of your work is directed towards your competition style movements or close variants of them, with a smaller amount put towards your accessory work. And could this even apply to some people who want to power build? Yes, to a certain extent you could apply this, although we could argue that it might not be your most efficient route for that purpose. For a strength athlete, there is very much something to this style of training. It works very well and it produces relatively low injury rates because you're spending the majority of your time doing exercises that you have programmed. You know what your work capacity is on them, and you're fine-tuning your technique on those over and over. You have less chance of bad technique breakdowns than you do with all the extra heavy accessory work added in, and it translates into direct specificity of training. And if you want more well-rounded strength and being a well-rounded athlete, that's when things like your GPP work and even to some extent your accessory work comes in. And this is the type of method I will be using personally for now moving forward as an athlete as I try to start competing at the international level as I'm dropping down a weight class. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go. Oh, my bicep.